Hello there! I have a thought experiment for you. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. I really don't even know if this is a real thought experiment. It's basically a scenario. I think it is a thought experiment, but it's a scenario that my dad and I have disagreed on since high school, okay? So I'm curious, do you kind of think more like my dad, or do you think more like myself? All right. Now this scenario that I'm going to give you, I feel like is very similar to many things that are happening in society today. Okay. Now what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to hear the scenario and automatically compare it to this thing and then just let that distort your perception and just kind of overlook the scenario. Try to focus on the scenario that I give, then you can apply any parallels or similarities that you think. You can say, well, in this is happening in society and I think they kind of link up, or some might falsely compare it to this, but this is why this is different. Okay, I'm interested to hear those perspectives. This is the scenario. Okay, when I was in high school, I was pretty good at basketball. I could jump pretty high. I could dunk a basketball. It'd take me like 20 tries, but I could get some dunks in, okay? So I'm about 5'10". Now every now and then my dad and I, we would go to a friend's house and my dad's friend would have this 9-foot rim. And on this 9-foot rim, apparently I did some really cool dunks, like maybe some 360s, some under the leg dunks or whatever. My dad saw that and he was just blown away. He's like, whoa, Paul, you should be in the NBA, It's not fair that you're not in the NBA because that rim is 10 feet tall. And that's just not right. They need to lower it down to 9 feet. That way people like you can get into the NBA. All right. So what I want to do for you guys is I kind of want to just share the dialogue, this back and forth that him and I had. I'm going to do my best to kind of represent his perspective, okay? And I'm just going to kind of say what was set up. Okay, so when he said that, the first thing that came to my mind is like, okay, let's just say that they did lower it down to 9 feet. Then what I kind of see happening is probably somebody that's shorter than me is going to look and say, well, that's not fair. It's 9 feet. Let's lower it down to 8 feet and then maybe 7 feet. So that wasn't very practical to me. So I expressed that to him and he said, well, they should at least have a different league, right? Another league of a 9-foot rim league. Okay? And his rationale was, or still is to this day, this is still what he thinks. He thinks that it's not fair that the NBA is dominated by a small minority of people, a small minority of really tall people. So he looks at that as not being fair. So my kind of rebuttal, I guess you could say, to him in regards to that is, let's just imagine that you do create a league that has a 9-foot rim. What's going to stop people from saying, well, that's not fair because all the people that are in the 9-foot rim league, all those people can jump really high, or all those people are really fast, or all those people they have really good eye-hand coordination, because height is just one variable, right? So he still stands by what he thinks. He creates a parallel to boxing. In boxing, it's not like the heavyweight division. There's a bunch of different divisions, that way different athletes can compete. All right? So I'm curious, what are your thoughts? I see my dad's perspective. He's coming from a good place. He wants the best for his son, which is me. He feels that I'm really good and he wants me to be able to, compete in, let's say, that league, and he doesn't think it's fair. Okay, the way I see it is I don't think that we should adjust the standard. The standard is a 10-foot rim, right? That's just the way it goes. If somebody isn't tall enough to compete, then hey, that's just the way it goes. If somebody doesn't have a good enough eye-hand coordination or whatever, I just see all of us getting dealt a different hand. And you make best with the cards that you get. You're not going to change the game just to accommodate me. You see? I would rather just not play. So that's the two sides here, okay? So do you think more like my dad? Do you think that they should make some adjustments? Or do you think more like me? Do you think that they should just keep it the same? Or maybe you're somewhere in between. I'm interested to see if you guys think that this scenario that I gave you parallels anything that's happening in society. If so, let me know. And if you feel that this somehow seemingly compares to something, but it's somehow not accurate and unfair to compare it, I'm interested to see why this scenario is different from this scenario that you have in your own mind. Hope that makes sense, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think. God bless you all. Peace.
Give me a drink, bartender.